Oh fuck, I'm the one that's supposed to do the talking. Okay. I'm not used to that. I'm sorry. Again, so we'll take it from the top. Good evening, everybody. My name is Giorgio, and ciao. I'm saying hello to friends that came by, and I will be um, narrating. I don't believe there's a word for the GM in Memento Mori, but that's what Ronnie, Jason, and Phil are going to play with me, which is this little tiny book here, which is an Italian RPG that is set in the Middle Ages during the Black Plague. So we got a little bit of that easy and comfy and cozy setting going. You know, yeah, the plague. What's more exciting than the plague? Is it will be as I already said to my beloved players and colleagues that it is a first for me as well. So I will try my best to DM this little campaign that I wrote for them at the best of my capabilities, but to um, to set things straight at the very least. One pretty cool thing about Memento Mori is that it only is played with d6s, and the only one who's rolling dice are the players. I'm not rolling anything, my hands will be empty the whole time. What happens to you, to your characters, to the environment and the setting surrounding you will be a direct consequences on your roll. So you got that going for you, which is always nice. Also, giving our Ronnie's dice rolled
I was
in
about
the
to
very
say, I'm
final.
sorry, guys. You guys are fucked.
Thank you,
Oh,
Matteo. Grazie
oh, Matteo.
per il sogno. Lo dico in italiano così loro non capiranno mai.
Because it
That's
might be
Italian
such,
lingo, so that we are cutting you off.
it might be such as or anything like my fucking percentile dice for the Cthulhu campaign. You guys are so fucked.
No,
I was
it's all.
going to say, Giorgio, like the amount of times we talk about British stuff that you would obviously not know much about, you are allowed to have a little Italian exchange with Matteo.
Yeah, thank you very much. Much
Makes it up.
appreciated. Okay, but again, since I'll be DMing this for you in my non-native language, and given how my last campaign that I DM'd for you backfired on a figure of speech that I thought would translate in English but didn't, I'm setting this campaign in England so that you will have a little bit of comfort of your home country and whatnot, given that will be stuff trying to eat your ankles and other parts less resistant of your body, maybe. But yeah, basically that's it for the setting. I will make sure to read out the more important parts of the setting itself from the quick starter that I shared with you. I don't know if I went on this rambling, but apparently there is not a full rule book already translated into English.
Yeah, you're the same.
But apparently the Kickstarter was a success. I signed up for it, and it reached about 1,000% of the foundings. So they are still
Nice.
they are already printing the material and the PDFs and whatnot. So sooner rather than later, it will be available for the whole thing for you to enjoy rather than just a quick start that I shared with you. Okay. Uh, um, yes. Okay. First things first. I don't know if you read how much you read about the quick starter, but we will leave the mark chapter out of it because marks in Memento Mori are something you acquire later on. The worse things get, maybe we will reach that point in this quick campaign that I wrote for you, but I'd rather to keep that out in order not to add other elements that might be a burden in the narration and the mechanics and whatnot. We will play very easy, very simple.
Okay.
in general, Memento Mori is very narrative as a setting. It, um, I'm sharing the screen so that you might see the character sheet when I'm talking to you about it. Okay, so this is basically the character sheet that will combine all the notions about your character. You can see there are no skill trees like D&D or your regular RPG such as Call of Cthulhu and whatnot. You have basically 5 stats, which is nerves, cerebrum, blood, heart, and viscera. Then you got bonds and virtues. That's it. What will define what kind of dice you will be rolling is what kind of attribute you are putting into the narration. Let me explain a little bit further the concept. Blood is your vitality. Okay, literally how much blood, pure blood, and we'll get to that in a second, is coursing through your veins. So basically, um, it gets engaged in almost every role you're willing to put into place. When it comes to nerves, let me see if it changes. Yes, okay, so I will sharing this screen, which is a little bit easier. Virtues, no, what the fuck? Okay. No, yeah, they're not explained. Doesn't matter. Okay, so basically, nerves. Nerves might be described as cold blood. Okay, how much focus you are able to maintain in difficult situations to be the least explicative as possible. But yeah, you get the general meaning of what I'm trying to explain. It's basically your instinct, the animal part that gets into place in decisions, in feelings, and whatnot. When we are talking about cerebrum, it is when you are involving logical processes, general knowledge that you got from education. Okay, so something analytical coming from actual thinking about stuff. Heart, basically, you are yes, education in medieval period. Yes, you can define that as street knowledge. Basically, what you knew, what you got to know in the fields or
Some
in your
priest in
shop.
fancy red robes told me that if I don't put the crops in by whatever time,
Yeah, basically, if I don't wash myself, I will live longer. Yeah, that kind of education.
yeah, yeah,
When it comes to heart, is when the drifter, which is what you will be, a drifter, acts showing its feelings and humors. Okay, it's acting with the guts, literally. So with feelings, with ideals, and it literally says when sincerity prevails over lies, even in the face of danger.
yeah. So like
Viscera,
more emotive based decisions rather than
more
logic.
emotive. Yes, exactly. Viscera is when the drifter acts against human conscience, when stepping on the weak is not an option but a deliberate choice. When sufferance of others turns into an advantage for your own. That kind of. Okay, so basically, I'm running a demon that's trying to eat my butt and bite my head clean off. What there's a villager in front of me. He's not able to see the monsters. We'll get to that in a second. What I'm going to do: trip the villager so that the monster feeds on him, and my life is saved. Basically, that's what viscera is against the human good, you might say. So it's not an easy situation. And every um, attribute that we described so far, you see as 3 points. one is already marked in black, the other ones is gray. The first one is available for all of you, while the other two could be fixed by your specific choices, depending on how you are depicting and imagining your character. You got 3 slots in total to add on your attributes here. So, for example, you might put Cerebrum to 2. You just 1 more spend points to add to the black ones already fixed. Those are the same for everybody. Is it kind of clear up to now? Do you need any more explanation about the attributes and whatnot?
No, I've got
Seems fine.
I've got the page 18 of the quick start
18.
open,
Right,
which
okay.
has got the list you
18.
just read off.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah, perfect. Blood organs. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, I could have read that. That would have been easier. Okay, I'm
No,
just
it was pretty much everything you said. I just assumed that's what you were reading. I just
yeah,
thought,
because I was translating simultaneously from the Italian
Oh,
copy.
bless you.
Fuck me. But yeah, you
Hard
get
mode.
yes, you got the general meaning of what I was
Yeah.
about to say. Again, we were getting to blood that you can read there, which is literally the attribute that represents your mental and physical condition. So it is both your hit points and your sanity points. That's how your blood gets tainted. Cthulhu-ish, just because we just finished a little campaign on with that system. Basically, you subtract everything from blood. There are no different statistics for your mental and your physical health. It all comes down from blood. You get 3, as you can read. One of them is always corrupted.
that'll be the black marker on it then.
Exactly.
Right.
One is always corrupted because, as I was mentioning before, you are drifters. Drifters in the setting on Memento Mori are specific kind of individuals that, given their condition, are a little bit more keen with the unseen and the occult than your regular medieval person, generic person, insert name here. In particular, you get these skills, this seeing ability, because you're dying. Characters, drifters, are dying from the plague. They are already infected. They know what the plague is. Their days are numbered. Just imagine like you have a couple of weeks maximum left to spend. In this couple of weeks, you will uncover that you are indeed a drifters with everything that comes with it. And we'll get to that in a second for what interests you in making the character itself, but a little bit more during the campaign itself.
So you were saying we've got 1 point in nerve, cerebrum, heart, and viscera, and 3 points in blood, one of which is corrupted. And how many points did you say we had to play about with?
A total of 3 to add either to nerve, cerebrum, heart, or viscera.
Okay. That's on, yeah. Okay.
You're muted, Phil, if you're asking something.
So yeah, so we get an extra 3 to place where we want. Yeah.
Exactly. Not blood. You cannot add a 4th on blood.
Did you send us the character sheet?
No, I did not,
No, it's
because
not fillable.
It's not fillable. Yes.
I can
what
print
I'm
one out for me anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm sharing the
I've got an open
thing with you.
I'm just using an open LibreOffice or Word document.
Okay, just give me a second so you can actually see.
I don't normally print character sheets out anymore, but I do like the idea with this being, you know, a very, you know, ancient setting and stiff.
Yeah,
But I
thing
think
is that
writing
I
it
even
is,
tried to build a fillable sheet for you, but I lost my patience early on in the process because my abilities with Photoshop or Adobe or whatever it is didn't come in handy since there are none. But yeah, I tried. I tried my best. It was not enough, unfortunately.
That's
And
okay.
that's it. So again,
It-
and the
It
top
can be
right.
difficult.
Yeah, it was. To my poor brain, it was. As you can see in the top right corner of the sheet, you got the mark. We're just not taking that into account as of yet. Maybe if you're willing to try another campaign for the setting, maybe with Becky as well, which is unfortunately sitting this one out, we might as well involve marks and whatnot. But we will see in a second moment. Bonds is the other part interesting of your character sheet, and also that come into account for roles. We'll get to that in a second. Basically, bonds are something that connects you with the material world. Every one of you has 3 bonds that are described as follows. No, it's not written here, is it? Maybe it's described later on. Let me see. Because I wanted to read and spare myself the pain of translating it again. Oh, fuck me. It's not written. Okay.
Bonds is on page 20. It's like the next page down.
20. Are they described a different kind of bonds? Because I don't believe they are.
No,
Different.
this was it gives an example or two, but
Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter. I will be reading from the Italian player handbook. Okay. So basically, bonds are 3 kinds of bonds that I'm asking you to start thinking about. Then again, to describe how you think your character came to be. Again, one each. One, it is a material link. So, literally, bonds as in James Bonds. Yes. Exactly as you can read in the fucking character sheet, Ronnie. Thank you very much. So the first one is an easy one, which is a material link and a physical object, a tangible object, which may be a gift, some sort of inheritance, or maybe something linked to a memory that you cherish. Okay, so maybe let's say you were a smith, which was lent a tool of some sorts, let's say a hammer, by their mentor. That might be a significant material bond for your character. So you might have the actual hammer that represents your hard working and your mentor's principle, let's say.
so the first bond is a material
Yeah, the first,
bond.
it's literally a material bond. And it might be referenced to as the treasured possession in Call of Cthulhu, something you latch on to endure moments of harshness and sadness and horribleness of things coming your way.
What I'm going to do is, Giorgio, I'll wait until you say what the other 2 are, because I don't write something in the first one that's more applicable to the other 2.
Yeah. You just, as far as I'm concerned, I am teaching you and explaining you how the character sheets work.
Okay.
I'm not expecting you to come out of tonight with a character sheet ready to go, because again, we are not playing the first session tonight. I will I would rather, given this is a new system, new mechanics, etc., let you sleep on it, so that we might. Sorry,
but we
What?
only have a couple of weeks to live.
yes,
You're
in
right.
fiction.
We've only got a couple of weeks to live.
Thank God, just in fiction.
Need to get started, man. No,
Mhm.
no. The only reason the only reason I'm saying is I'm probably going to write stuff down because I've opened a Word document just
Mhm.
To jot down some thoughts. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
as I'm going
Take
along.
all the notes you might need.
Because
And
I have an idea in my head of the kind of character I want to play, but
Mhm.
I want to make sure first of all that it will fit. I think it will, but
yeah, that's perfectly fine with me. Again, if there are concepts that you are more comfortable in sleeping a night or two on, and you want to come back at me asking for questions, I will get back
Yep.
to you as soon as possible with clarification, hopefully,
yeah,
and
no
we'll
problem.
figure things out even next session if we reach that level of an impasse. But yeah, that's it. The second kind of bond is an affectionate one. So basically, it's something that is fundamental for you. Some of those loves that you can count on the fingers of a hand. Whether it is a daughter, a parent, a partner, whatever, something you love so much you're not able to love anyone else on the same degree. That kind of love that moves the sun and the other stars, like Dante used to say. Again, another Italian reference. Yeah, basically is something that takes on a role so important and essential that it is important for your character that this person still lives. So it might not be my dead daughter or my mentor who passed away 25 years ago. It is a living person that you are leaving behind because of your condition.
Okay. I'm going to throw, and I don't mean to throw a wrench in here, but I'm just going to ask just as a clarification. If I were to play a priest character,
How did I know?
look,
I knew you were going to play a priest.
Absolutely fits with the period.
Well, of course it does.
Absolutely
But
fits
just
with
knew
medieval
you were going to
history.
do that. I've known you for too long.
Could I claim the affection as God?
No.
I'll just clarify.
No. As in, yes, that is more of a virtue that you might put in place, and we'll
For the
get to
virtue
that
bit.
in about a
Okay.
second. Yes,
Right.
but
Okay.
the whole point of bonds is that at certain point in time they need to have impacted physically your existence. Yeah, I mean, I'm not
problem.
saying that God, as you being a priest, didn't impact your way of life.
I mean, I haven't decided specifically. It's just one of the ideas that came to mind, so I just wanted to clarify that. So
Yeah. I was just latching onto the example because it needs to be an existing person, just
okay,
leaving the whole judgmental about religion and which religion is better, throwing it out of the window. We are talking about physical people here.
Okay, that's fine.
As it comes with the third kind of bond, which is a bond from your past. So basically, these rappresentato da un periodo. Okay, so the past link is represented by a period of your life. It is a specific period of time of your past that gave you particular emotions, even melancholic to a certain degree, and that you are not able to forget anymore. Whether it is your childhood or your days at the seminar, taking again the priest example. Mm, sp- uh, this kind of bonds often are associated with, again, as we were saying, phases in your development as a person.
Okay.
Whether it is formation on the job or something that really impacted your growth as a person per se. Yeah, could be long travels, military campaigns, or social status developments, pilgrimages, whatever you see fit. It is something that happened in a certain period of time that changed you.
Okay.
So just to get to the things once more, the first one is a material bond, so an actual object. The second one is an affective bond, so an existing and living person. The other one is the past or period bond, so something that made you the man or the woman or the person you are as a whole, something that helped you becoming what you actually are. Each of the bonds comes with two dots. It's the same for everybody. This always grants you 2d6s. Each spot you see on the character sheet grants you 1d6 that you are adding to the dice pool when you are willing to make a roll.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to explain a little bit. Uh, Okay, each one of these bonds, in order to sew them into the narration, comes when you can see that on the middle-ish right part of the character sheet with a key phrase. So something that helps define the bonds and what that means for your drifter. If you want, I'm willing to give you some sort of examples. For example, as a material bond, there is my needle, my sewing needle. As a key phrase, it comes with, "There's nothing I'm not able to sew back on again."
Yeah.
So something that helps you put things together, even metaphysically, rather than mm, fuck me.
Then
Okay, it's not
material.
materially, yeah, something more even physically. It is an object that helps you endure impasses or times of harshness. You latch onto this needle in the example to put things together, whether they are relationships that are broken. So it is a social role rather than actually sewing patches of wool back together. That's
Yeah,
where the
so
key phrase is kind of important.
so they're quite vague deliberately in order to fit into all sorts of scenarios.
Exactly.
It's a bit like
yes.
aspects in Fade.
I'm taking your word for it. I did never play Fate, so
Okay.
it might as well be, but
It
I
has,
don't tell you.
there's definite echoes.
It's not exactly the same, but yeah.
Let me see if. Oh, okay. Another example for the affectionate, for the love bond. My wife Anna. The value of a honest life. It is general enough to be taken into account in different aspects, in different kind of role that you might be willing to make during the session. It's vague, but not too vague, if you know what I mean.
Right. I got to say, is that how it's translated out of the Italian? The value of an honest life.
Sorry.
because they've got see the quick start.
It's different.
They've got my wife Anna, the value of a caress.
Oh, yeah,
which is a interesting turn.
No, here it is actually a vita onesta, which could be translated into honest life literally. But yeah,
Yep.
caress might be a genuine and a wholesome life. You might translate that as you wish.
No, I
Just
just
to
no,
let them pass out.
I was more asking for as to whether which to take your translation or that one, because it's
Well, obviously his translation, Ronnie.
yes, that's why I was asking.
We want to pander to our keeper so we don't die in the first 2 days of the
Don't
game.
upset him.
Hey, right. Here's the difference though with this game. The keeper can't actually do a damn thing. If we're going to die, it will be by our own hand, quite literally.
Well, yeah, we've got enough to handle with ourselves in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got enough to worry about without my help. So it's only fair. It's all on you, whatever happens. I'm just leaving you with an example of your past bond.
I agree,
Just an
Matteo.
experience. Yes, Matteo. Thank you very much.
I agree.
Just to give you one more example for the third type of bonds, for example, a fugitive life, which as a key phrase bears with itself, it's never too late to start again.
Yep.
So imagine a bandit that flees their hometown after a crime and has to start a new one, so they have to adapt to a new setting, a new surroundings, having to do with more people, etc. This is what you need to have in mind when thinking about bonds and their latched key phrases. Is it all clear up to now?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get on some more?
No,
You're set?
I'm good. I've not really thought of anything yet, and I'd rather read more of the nitty-gritty in my own time. But yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah. Again, I'm not expecting you to come with your perfect character sheet tonight. We're just seeing how everything works.
Super Priest.
I just jotted down a few notes.
Yeah, Super Priest is making a return.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much super you need to be in order to make it valuable.
Mm-hmm.
No, Super Priest was a unique confluence of getting a whole load of points from the GM in question and being able to focus them on two specific areas. Namely the one bit of combat he could do and his spellcasting ability, to the point where I was only rolling to see if I failed.
That was definitely a Super Priest.
Oh, he was he was immense. He was playing croquet with people. He was his weapon was was his staff, and I was just riding along playing croquet with people's heads. It was hilarious.
Okay, now we are reaching almost the end of your character sheet, and we are getting to what virtues are.
Okay.
As you can see in the bottom right corner, which is basically the ensemble of skills and subjects you're particularly able into or knowledgeable into. Okay, so some example may be swordman, merchant, gentleman, people's pleaser, healer, academic, thief, whatever you see fit for your character. It may transcend the level of your profession itself, because you might be knowledgeable in a lot of things that are not part of your profession itself. So just keep thinking about a single word that might collect a little bit of a set of skills.
Okay.
basically, you have to choose 3 of them, and everyone comes with a point, with a slot. Pa, 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 pa. Okay, so just to give you a little bit more insight, reading straight off the rule book, they are not they are not just needed to list your abilities, rather to maybe investigate the past of your character. Could be definitely easier if you are not coming up with a strong concept of a character, to start from the virtues themselves. I want this person to be, let's say, an academic. If he is an academic, maybe he's a nobleman. So he might as well be trained with the use of the rapier or the sword. So he might as well be a swordman, and then you have your drifter almost set to go. And given the virtues that you have, now you got all the others to define, but all the others slots and points to add to decide. But you have already a good set to start with filling your sheet, if you know what I mean. Okay. Another thing that it is kind of important for your character is the dream. I was supposed to get to that as almost the first thing, maybe the second, but yeah, I opened the character sheet and it was this place was covered in my visual, so yeah, I missed that. I'm so sorry, but basically, the dream is your only true objective, something that you long to achieve before you die, to give a little bit more of an emphasis. For example, your character mm, came to senses, is being told that they have the Black Plague, they have days to live, and let's say the nobleman that we were describing beforehand says, "Oh fuck me, I won't be ever be able to leave for the Holy Land." This could be a dream for a drifter. Or if we are talking about the priest, we might as well thinking about being named as a vicar for the church, of choice, which it is Anglican or Catholic, whatever you please, and so on. So basically, it is very kind of difficult to constrain it to a mere concept of ambition or objective. Is something visceral into your character that ties with their convictions, with their past, with their bonds, and whatever you please. Might as well be intended as a vocation, something you aspire to be on religious terms. But yeah, you get the general meaning of what
Yeah.
what I'm telling you. Okay, as an example, you might, as we were mentioning, becoming a knight, whichever I see. Sorry, to receive the kiss of love from a princess, to heal your sick daughter, to avenge your father's death, to own a castle, so on. Even if your past or your social status does not allow it. For example, you are a poor street beggar. They might as well think, oh, maybe I will be rich enough to own my own castle and people will ask me for money because I'll have so many and I will be willing to share them with everybody. It's something that a kid might dream of. It's not something that you will be actually able to achieve. It's something that your soul longs to, though. You are thinking so hard right now. I'm seeing your hamsters as mine running furiously on wheels.
I have an idea.
Hmm.
I have an idea. I mean, it's a terrible cliche, but when it comes to the medieval period, if you're not playing a merchant, you're playing a priest. If you're not playing a priest, you're playing a swordsman of some description.
Yeah,
The plague.
I
The
saw a
plague.
playthrough that had the player playing as a plague doctor.
Dr.
Non-actually
Pistorius.
priests, non-actually merchants. They were somewhere in between. One of them was playing a woodsman, a lumberjack. So you can have all sorts of walk of life here.
Yeah.
It's not to put that lightly. It's not an epic chronicle what we are about to tell. It's not a story of heroes and damsels and dragons, etc.
It's very
more
personal.
grounded.
Yeah, it's a very personal journey, quite literally.
More grounded rather than personal.
No, it's one of the reasons when you said about the two you were interested in running, this was the one that immediately jumped out to me.
Yeah, it's well. Okay.
Because it was more grounded.
Okay. And just to end a little bit the explanation of the character sheet, and then I will leave you a little bit of time to think about more questions that you might have, is the name. The name is something that you can drag into conversation every now and then, not because your past represents something, not because your family name is necessarily linked to battles of duchies or kings and whatnot, but basically, I'm just reading out loud from the rule book. In a time where last names were not that around, if you were not, let's say, a famous knight or a count or a king or whatnot, people were referring to each other with nicknames or words describing their personality rather than their profession itself. Some sort of a second name of this kind. So you might as well thinking about Greg Coldhands, Lawrence Mousecatcher, Mary the Saint, Gwen the Glutton, and so on. Just a little bit of an epithet that represents your character. Again, this is more a grounded setting, so of course, thinking about, let's say, Sir Patrick the Omnipotent, it's not gonna cut it. Okay.
I mean, Patrick the Omnipotent.
Yeah, I was thinking about the star in SpongeBob. So the Patrick came to mind. Or you might have, let's say, Reginald the All-Knowing. It's not gonna cut it because I don't believe that anyone will give you this kind of epithet rather than the shit-eating Lawrence or Patrick the dumb-faced looking guy or something more grounded again.
Mm-hmm.
In my defense, the shit eating was entirely necessary in order to forward the plot.
I'm willing to stand my ground saying that it was not a fixed point that we had to go necessarily to. But then again, I will be leaving the screen for 5 minutes. I will come back to you in 5 minutes. Okay. You have time to think. And if you're willing and not confident in your in your ideas to start to flesh out a character, we got tables to make out concept that might be tweaked a little bit going on in character generation itself. So I'll see you in 5,
Okay.
and
Okay.
thank you for your patience up to now. I'll be back in 5.
That's great. All I've got in my mind now is not bad to bad.
What, the bad?
Not bad to bad.
Did you know that if you could like summon portals?
You're too young for that anyway, Jason. I thought Ronnie might have heard that.
I was going to say. I think Ryan's concentrating on his own character.
Yes. Not bad to bad.
Do you want to know how?
That's the only thing I can think of now.
No, he doesn't get it, apparently.
Yeah.
Never watched Nog in the Nog.
2 ways of how you do it.
Oh God! Now we're going back.
You would take the portal, shut, and put your hand in it.
Oh,
Drag
crikey!
the head through the
Yeah,
back
it's
of
going
the
back
legs
a bit.
and then
That's going back a bit, definitely.
So what do we?
and then
Obviously, we
you
don't want to
can
be
summon the portal inside
a
the
group of
bodies,
thieves or something. No,
grab
so
their
we can all
heart,
be
put it through
a
the
gang of
portal,
thieves.
close it, and their veins are in your heart.
I guess that's what. I guess it's part of. To me, part of what interests me is that question.
Like,
If you've been told you've got 2 weeks to live, what would you do with that
Mm.
2 weeks?
I'll summon portals for you.
Yeah.
You know, what would you try and set your affairs in order? Would you go out on some hedonistic high? Would you decide, well, fuck it, I'm taking as much of the world with me as possible? Would you, you know, would you suddenly double down on your belief in a god, or suddenly go and find a god because you were worried that just in case there was something out there and you didn't come up to snuff? You know, it's an interesting sort of philosophical question, and when you transplant it back to medieval times, which were far more heavily religious, which is why the idea
Oh,
of,
yeah.
you know, intrigues. No, the reason I was being quiet there is I was just looking to see whether there was actually a monastery in Canterbury.
Oh. I believe the answer is yes.
Yes, St. Augustine's was a Benedictine monastery during that time period, because I was looking for one that specifically was there during the time period.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the idea. Hi, Giorgio. I like the idea of his dream is probably having been shunted off to some backwater bit of
Runcorn.
He's wanting to, you know, make the pilgrimage back down to Canterbury, and to be there with his brethren when he dies.
Mm.
Okay.
That's his goal. He's, you know, that's his dream, just to be to visit. There's actually there's a holy shrine in Canterbury as well. I like the idea of. Yes, I was doing research while everyone was talking. I was actually looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to do, really.
Just gonna get another drink.
Okay. So, in the last few minutes, I will be sharing with you basically what is the main mechanic of Memento Mori, so that you will know where things are headed. And again, if it wasn't clear enough, it's not a good place. Just to bear that in mind.
No,
Let me see if there's something written properly in the
Well,
quick
so
start.
need a camera. Oh yeah, I need to
Mhm. Corruption. Yes. Perfect. Corruption.
Oh dear, where's that?
Yes.
Corruption is.
Harry, guess what?
Oh, trust me, that's nothing.
I now have myself a new sword.
Let's wait for a moment for Jason to come back. Then, if you don't mind, I will be explaining what happens with corruption, how that works, and then I will leave you to rummage on your ideas of a character, and then
Yeah, sorry.
I'll be, yeah, don't worry. I had a 5-minute break. It's only fair that you had one also. But as you probably heard, I am explaining the main mechanic in
and
Memento
corruption.
Mori, which is corruption, exactly, which is the core theme of Memento Mori itself, as you can read. Basically, you will earn, or rather, you will be given corrupted slots, which is the black blood spot slot, as you can see in the character sheet. Basically, if you, let's say, in Call of Cthulhu, fail a sanity roll, you might get damage, you might get a new mania, a new phobia, etc. Once your white slots of blood come black, it means that your blood is so tainted, it starts tainting your attributes. So basically, you gain black slots that your character decide where to put. I will never tell you, okay, now your first slot of heart comes black. No, you decide. Basically, this will determine your dice pool. That's why two precise sets of dice are needed, because you might have dark successes on the black dice or dark failures. Basically, what happens if you roll a 6 on a black die, you gain a dark success worth as much as 3 normal successes.
Ooh.
When this happens, the player must also blacken one blood slot. Yes.
So it's a bit like a temporary adrenaline rush kind of thing, or like a primeval thing, but also your blood gets a bit more fucked.
Let's put it this way. You gained a new nature by becoming a drifter. Again, your blood, your soul itself is a little bit more tainted, and sometimes you might have you ever played Werewolves by World of Darkness or Vampires?
Long time ago, I played.
Okay, doesn't
First
matter.
edition.
Basically, it is like a part of you that acts a little bit more animalistic.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. It is still you, but it is a part of you that you are managing.
Yeah.
It's something new that is delving inside your body that you're not able to control properly.
Yeah. Okay.
On the other hand, this kind of corrupted blood might act following your agenda or against it. If you roll a 1 on a black die, that is a dark failure that will erase a success gained with another die. This one's a bitch.
Yes.
Specifically. If I recall correctly, and I might not, but basically successes on white dice are just the 5 and the 6. So to have one of these successes erased, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, because it's not that easy to have this the amount of successes needed to pass a challenge. I'm just figuring out that I didn't mention this with you. Difficulty, it is given by the number of successes you need for the test to be succeeded. Was that proper English? Okay.
Is it difficulty?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I zoned out a little bit while I was speaking, so I don't know what came out of my mouth. So basically, I will ask you for a roll, saying the difficulty is 3, let's say. So you justify what kind of attributes of bonds or virtue or name you're putting on the table. I'll say, maybe this one is not that suitable in this situation, or why don't you put this one into so that you have more dice, and then you roll. I'm saying that the difficulty for the test is 3. So combining all the pools that you're rolling in front of you, you need to have at least 3 successes for the test to be passed. Any under the threshold that I'm figuring out for you, it's a failure or a success of the bad guys. That's why I'm not rolling. Let's say that you are the nobleman swordsman that we were fantasizing about before. So let's say you got 2 in nerves. You roll the blood that you have, as you always do, and you got a point in the virtue swordman. Basically, you are rolling 6 dice. One of them is a black slot, as it always is for blood. The difficulty is, let's say, 2. You make 1 success, means that the missing die for you to pass the test is a damage you're getting. Basically, it is how it works. I'm not rolling to damage you. It is deducted from the successes you miss to pass the test.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to you, what I just said.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
I love how difficulty 1 is still classed as a demanding action.
Yeah, again,
and
because
that's difficulty 1.
Yeah, because that really depends on what you're putting on the table. What cards are you putting on the table? Maybe you might try something, but nothing fits. So you're just rolling for blood, which is 1 black die always, at the very least, and 2 white dice. One of them must be a 5 or a 6. So chances are definitely not in your favor. Okay. That's why I'm willing not to be a total bitch. Yeah, 5 or more, yes. And maybe I will retcon difficulty thresholds in order to make it a little bit more fun on you. Again, this is also a first for me in narrating this kind of game, so I'm just taking measures to what is suitable or not suitable for this environment. So, am I missing something else? Oh yeah, we were talking about corruption. So basically, sooner rather than later, your blood slots will all be black. Once they're all black, okay, they can be black again, suffering physical or psychological damage, gaining a dark success, as we were saying, or acting to create an advantage for another character, and it is, of course, described in Chapter 6 of the Quick Start. When some of these events occurs, yes, you will suffer 1 blood corruption. Once you start with 1, you gain 2, and so on. If there are no empty blood slots, They're all being corrupted, and the drifter should suffer another. You must clear all the blood slots accumulated up to that point, but they must choose one slot from an organ, a virtue, a bond, or name and blacken it. Again, your blood is so tainted that it permeates to other aspects of your character. Okay. What if I suffer more than one blood corruption? That might as well happen. Again, you start to blacken and erasing and blackening again and erasing until you have corrupted this or that attribute on their virtue up to what you've suffered. Let's say you got one blood slots, you suffer 5. So you blacken the other 2, erase them, and let's say your heart gains a black slot. You miss 3 more. So you clear another 2, then clear them from your blood, and you taint the nerves, for example, and so on until they're all suffered and moved around your character sheet. So yeah, maybe it is better for you to print out your character sheet and then just keep blackening and erasing with pencil and rubber, rather than having that converted into something fillable and whatnot. Let's see if I'm missing something for your general knowledge. Oh yeah, as I was saying, I'm not the one choosing what you are to what slot you are to blacken. If you feel like blackening your bond, you might as well do. Or if you prefer an attribute, it might as well be your choice. As you can see from the gift paragraph under there are supernatural powers that blossom as you are more and more corrupted when time goes on. This blessing can be so powerful that it can transform you into a quasi divine beings, further separating you from humanity. Well, we will get into the veil narration and etc. while we start playing the actual game, because I don't want to give too much out before you actually get to experience it. But basically, as you can read, organs are not tied to a gift because their corruption lead to a different type of transformation, which is stigmata. But as a general rule, the first time a player blackens a slot associated with your name, your bond, or your virtue, your players, should come up with a gift. For example, you decide to blacken your bonds, the horror of war, learn to stay detached. And what? Okay. This is the first time they corrupt the bond, so they come up with a gift. Oh yeah, it does not give example, of course. Okay.
I think it does.
On the other page.
37.
Yeah, on the other page. Okay, reading through the keywords, they choose the term weakness. The player then decides to transform this skill into a weakness they can instill in other people. Their gift will be named Winds of Horror, and it will allow them to project terrible vision of war and death into the mind of others. Again, the whole point of the drifters, just to give you a little bit more of an insight of what you are getting yourself into, is that given this corruption in your blood and your mind, this itself is giving you the power to see literally the unseen, what the so-called unawares are not able to experience, which is the reality beyond the veil and everything that comes with it. Beyond the veil are characters like mythical creatures from the legends, such as fairies, pixies, werewolves, or blood-sucking ticks that have human faces and other horrors of sorts. But you are one of the few that are able to see them. And these creatures, these personalities, might grant you wishes or gifts such as this one, which is something that corrupts your very being, trying to elevate you into something superhuman. Still corrupted, still decaying, but more than the average human, of course, quasi divine, as we were saying earlier. Again, if that makes any sense to what I'm describing you so far.
Yes.
But then again, this will happen during game time. It's not something I'm asking you to think about when creating your character. This will come in a second time. As of yet, the only thing that you need to worry about are your bonds and your virtues, and maybe your name and dream. This is what I believe are the core parts of your character. When it comes to what kind of slots you want to allocate on the attributes, we may figure that out. It's not an issue. But what's more important to me is that you're able to flesh out an idea of a character that you're willing to play and role play again, because it's really how you role play that gives you the mechanical advantage or more dicing to roll for better chances of success. All right. When it comes to character gen, I have, as for now, nothing else to add. Unless, for example, you might want some more example of bonds, maybe, or virtues to choose from, or maybe some more example of names. That this way we could have a look at the tables that I was mentioning earlier, so that they might inspire you a little bit in thinking about your character. But then again, it's not something we need to be done tonight.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to take a look at it, I think. Give a few ideas, perhaps.
Yeah, there's a
Or
lot
narrow
of
down your
spells.
options.
Okay, what kind of options are you willing to see about virtues or bonds or the name itself?
Name, maybe.
Okay, just roll me 2d6s.
2d6.
Do you have them?
I do. Okay, it's an 8, 2 and 6.
2 and 6. So, with 2 and 6, we might go with okay, either Casta, the Wind of the South, or Alphonsine, River Jumper, as examples. If you're willing to roll them again, maybe we will find a little bit of more examples for you to choose from.
4 and a 3.
4 and a 3. So you might as well have Krista, Ice Wall, or Griselda, the... Oh, fuck, I don't know how to translate this. Just give me a second. Oh.
Okay, it's now my lock screen.
I'm wondering if you, like you say, it might be easier then to come out from the other end, decide what your character is with your bonds, and then create the name.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It'll kind of come like
Go
weirdly.
to-
I've chosen the first part of the name, but then like the actual the blah.
Yeah.
By the way, it was Griselda the Cunning.
Ah.
Ah, yes.
The word I was looking
Oh,
for.
that Griselda, that cunning.
For example, Jason, if you're willing to roll me 2d6s, I will give you an example of a virtue to
Go on then, seeing as it's you, a 4 and a 2.
a 4 and a 2. Falconer,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
an hunter with an oak. You trained it to deliver messages, to observe the horizon, to see dangers closing in on you, or even to catch small prey such as mice or
Mhm.
rabbits.
Right, you got medieval drone.
This could work out both as a physical bond and as a virtue. As a physical bond, you got your oak because you are a falconer of profession. That might work.
If anyone gives you any static, that you can point your hawk at them. Flip them the bird, quite literally.
Literally, yes.
Oh,
Why come you down and stand in
Okay.
I've named my character at least.
Oh wow, that's a point. Which is? Are you willing to share it, or
Yes,
you're thinking about editing it?
Brother Jerome the Gentle.
The gentle. Oh yeah, that works. Listen, brother Jerome, would you mind rolling for me 2d6s and giving me the total so we can define what your past bond might be?
7.
The Hermitage. Maybe you were an hermit. Maybe you isolated yourself in contemplation of God before becoming the holy man that you now are.
Hmm.
You didn't like people.
You didn't like people, yes, basically. Or people
Of course
didn't
I
like
didn't.
you.
Of course I didn't like people. I'm a Benedictine monk. What the fuck you expect?
Yeah, but as in being around other Benedictine monks, cramping your style.
oh, they're the worst ones.
Not really. They make beer.
They just. I mean, the thing about Benedictine monks, they just never start talking.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of options actually.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon, Phil?
They've got a lot of options.
Oh yeah, you got a shitload of them. But then again, I'm not asking you to choose right away. Just
No, sure.
think about it. As long as you please. We might as well find the perfect the perfect word to describe your character next time we play before session.
Yes.
First and foremost, before I'd say closing the session for tonight, if you're fine with it, I will be leaving you in the Facebook chat with the song that I chose for the first session because it is fitting with the basically where this first session will be set. The year it is the 1350, and you characters are all together on a journey to reach Winchelsea. Winchelsea.
How do you spell that?
Sorry, I am dumb, or maybe it's just I'm not able to pronunciate because I looked it up.
I mean, it's an English place name. No one can pronounce those. I
Winchester?
can't.
Oh, Winchester.
Yeah, when Chelsea.
Yeah, Winchelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah,
Chelsea.
Yeah.
so close.
Never heard of it.
But yeah,
If
you
this
got
is
that.
to make a big bridge.
Where
Must
is
be up north.
it? quite the opposite.
Everything's up north from me.
It's near. Actually, that is true. That's allowed, but it's
everything in England is down south for me.
It's apparently quite close to Hastings.
Yeah, should be in
Oh,
Sussex.
okay. Yeah.
East Sussex,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. But then again, I was.
So we're heading there. Did you say?
You're heading there. Yes.
Do we need a reason to be going?
No. I will be giving it to you as soon as we start session 1.
Okay.
Very well.
Then again, before playing next time, we will also be describing your characters so that you know each other a little bit. I'm not saying that you are a worn out adventurers guild, nothing of sorts. You are just sharing the road to a common end.
We're traveling together because we tolerate each other.
Yes. Also because
I
it
think back then,
is
we
safer
traveled together for
to...
safety.
Yeah, for
Well,
safety.
yeah,
Yes. Basically, but you got to know each other a little bit during your journey. Or maybe you met each other along the way. We will figure that out next time. All right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Again, if you have any question in the coming days, hit me up. And
We'll do.
given that I will be busy, I will come back to you as
I was
soon
going to
as
say,
possible.
we'll hit you up, but you won't reply. You'll ignore us because you're away.
I'll try my best to reply as soon as I can.
Oh,
What's the lap that you're doing?
It is called Sahara Expedition. And to put it in terms, I will be having my own chapter of Masks of Nyarlathotep. But I'll be in Tunisia rather than Egypt.
just don't do a Sir Aubrey.
So it's set in that time. Is it set in the 20s? Is it?
Right,
It is set in the 30s, to be completely fair. But yeah, it is. I am part of the expedition that is going into the desert to find the mythical white city of Zerzura on the trails of a previous expedition that never came back.
You actually are
You
getting into the
can
desert.
see it. You can see it now, can't you?
Hmm.
You can see it now. Giorgio's character's dealing with some tentacled horror. It's got him grasped round the throat. It's pulling him into some terrible pit. And one of us messages and goes, "How about this for a virtue?"
To be completely honest, I will have a couple of days. I will have a couple of days where I'll be at the hotel, so
Yeah.
I will have Wi-Fi connection. The other ones, I will be in the actual desert, so I don't believe I will have any kind of coverage over there. Yeah, that's what I meant with I will reply to you as soon as possible. All right?
All I can say is, if you see a whole bunch of figures and they're all in white armor.
I'm running.
No, if they're in white armor, you don't have a problem because it's stormtroopers and they can't hit shit.
Oh, right.
Nah.
I missed the reference. I'm sorry.
You get the there's that wonderful meme that that old thing about what would happen if a irresistible force hit an hit an inanimate object or hit an immovable object. The other one I saw was a kind of variant of that. Is what would happen if stormtroopers were firing at red shirts.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. So thank you guys for having this super short session of character gen. I hope I gave you enough notions to fantasize about your next character.
Yeah, I've got a few.
To suffer a horrible turn of events. But again, it is the setting, it's not actually me putting bad things onto you. But then again, thank you very much for having me and trusting me with this new system, and
Right,
we'll see
no
how
problem,
that
sir.
works out. Hopefully next week. If that doesn't happen, then the week after. All right.
Sure
Okay.
thing. Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Yep.
I
Have a
cannot
good
end
time.
the broadcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Ciao Matteo.